Hey guys, Coach coming at you with the video. This video is just gonna be probably most of me just rambling on like I usually do, but I just want to give a little insight and check up and seeing how things are going. So I've recently started to install my own sabers. I did these three lovely sabers right here, and I just kind of want to give a little overview on how it's going so far and maybe why you should start installing your own sabers too. So first one I installed was the KR Sabers Lost Acolyte. I've been wanting this hilt for months now, just was too lazy to get it, and I got it about a month ago. Thankfully I did, because they're now sold out because of the May 4th sale. Yeah, 7/8 blade goes into that. Has LEDs on the switch PCB. So, you know, you got power, auxiliary, and then there's two LEDs on there. And I wired those up to the LS2 pad. These are all CFX too. So I wired it to the LS2 pad so they can be animated differently instead of in line with the blade and, you know, only turn on when the blade's on. This is the first one I installed, and technically my first install. And, you know, it took me probably a good 6 hours, 7 hours, because I took my time, and, you know, I'm new to it, so didn't want to mess anything up. And as I've installed more sabers, it's taken less and less time, except for this one. This one took a little bit longer because of how the wires are set up, and I'll get to that in a second. So just to show that everything works.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Director.
There goes those LEDs. I have them pulsing, and then when you turn the saber on, it'll match the main blade and react to it. So if I get some flashes on. Absolutely love those New Hope clashes and lockup sounds. But yeah, as you can see, got them pulsing. And then the second hilt I did was the Beck Saber Bay 2 is best hilt. This install was real nice and simple. Microphone's not doing these hilts any justice on how loud they are, especially this one and this one. And then here is the Saber Bay Chosen Vector hilt. Absolutely loved the design of this. If I remember correctly, this was a contest on who can design the hilt that gets the most votes, and then they would produce it. So it kind of gives off that scrap tech, scrap flex kind of look to it, with the pins, the control box, and this upper piece. But I absolutely love these brass brass or copper tubing right here. You do have to run your wires through there, and then through here there's, you know, little holes, and then the switch wires for right here. And wiring the switches up was the biggest pain in the ass on this hilt, because you would have to, because it's a two-piece chassis system. Has a fully removable chassis right here, like that, and then there's another chassis from here to about right here, and then it's held in with these two screws right here. So you would have to pre-solder all your wires, like your switches, your ground, your negative, your data, and all that's positive, onto a rotary PCB, glue it into the top chassis piece, and then, you know, have them running up, and then this all comes apart, so it's just about that. And then it would stick out a little bit, and then you would have to fish your wires through and up, and and then solder them together, and then heat shrink them, and then tuck them down, and then you'd only have your NeoPixel connector wires, and you connect that. And then finding the right spot for where to tighten these screws to hold that in was a challenge, so that this pommel could screw in all the way, and so that it's making contact with the pancake connector and the pins. And when I mean rotary PCB, for some of you that are new to this hobby, comes with this, and then another one that has holes for their 14 pins, 16 pins, and you solder them together. And this is how you get a removable chassis system. Super nice, super genius design. I can't remember how long this has been out now, but it's super genius. But the switches, big pain in the butt, especially screwing this in all together was a big pain, and screwing this on and this onto that. But we got it done. Let's wake it up, fully enclose this speaker. I'm definitely gonna do that one so it sounds really good.
I choose my own fate.
Turn it on. Saber sounds really good. Kind of a thick boy saber. It's not like Ultra Saber's thick, but it's definitely thick and sturdy. All installed with CFX. And so yeah, so I've done 3 sabers so far in the last 3.5, 4 weeks. And I got another one coming tomorrow from Saber Armory. So the point of this video is to talk about installing your own sabers. So now we all know there's great installers out there. Jeremy at Solo Sabers, Benji at Nerf Herder, Tim from Tim Front Orderable, and the list goes on. And they do incredible work. And I've gotten a saber done by Jeremy at Solo Sabers. Got my Solar Guard over there reinstalled with a removable chassis system and Bluetooth and all the jazz. And it's great. It still works and everything like that. But the biggest thing is the price. Now, these guys are doing very good quality work and, you know, doing everything that you ask them and stuff like that. It's just the price on everything is super expensive because, you know, you're paying a couple $100 for the hilt, you know, you're paying for shipping to send it to them, you're paying however much it costs to do the install, there's another couple $100, and then you gotta pay for the shipping back. Sometimes they can be booked up so they can't fit you in for an install, or they can fit you in, but, you know, it's gonna take a couple weeks, you know, which is fine because, you know, there's other people ahead of you. But the reason why I think, if you're getting into this hobby or you're already into this hobby and you like collecting hilts, why you should start doing your own installs. One, the biggest thing, you save a ton of money. I got this hilt right here for $136, $152 for the parts, the chassis, and everything that you need to install it. Came up to about $288 before tax and shipping, so we'll just say, you know, $300. Now, if I were to send this to an installer, and they charge, say, $200 to do the install, or $300, you know, we're looking at $600 plus shipping and handling to there and back. So we'll say $630 to be on the safe side, $620. So I would have been paying $620 for the install and the hilt and everything like that. Now it's fine, you know, I got the money to do that, but it's, on the other hand, it's like, well, why don't I start doing my own installs? Like, you know, on my off days, I'm a pretty boring dude. You know, I don't do much, so I got free time on my 3 off days, 4 days on. And I said, well, you know, fuck it, might as well try to do my own installs. Worst things worse, you mess up the install, you can still send the empty saber to your preferred installer and get the work done. So I bought all the stuff I needed, you know, my wires, used my charging system, sandpaper, my glues, electrical tape, liquid, rivet gun for when I do a Graflex from KR soon, assortment of different wires, all PTFE, you want to use PTFE, my ESD safe soldering iron, All my tips back there, I like to use a pointy tip. I solder, different pliers and needle nose pliers, files, fume extractor. You're definitely going to get that. I didn't install about a year ago, and I didn't have this, and I had a headache for probably 2 days straight. More pliers, helping hands with lights, and little alligator grips. Another set, PTFE wire cutters, or just normal wire cutters, but you want to get 22 to 34 gauge. These were kind of hard to find, so I got these from the Saber Armory. And then more tweezers and wire cutters and needle nose, magnifying glass, Allen keys, box cutter, and then my laptop connected to another monitor so I can see and pull up install guides or the manual for the CFX soundboard, my other sabers. My install partner, when I'm doing installs, she keeps me company. Right, Sheba? Yeah, so I got everything on Amazon, next day shipping, besides maybe one thing. The only thing I didn't get on Amazon are the PTFE wire. And I'm sure you could find PTFE wire on there, but it's kind of hard. They normally only have like silicone wire or whatever wire this is. Oh, definitely got a heat shrink too. So yeah, so at first, it's gonna cost you a little bit to buy everything, but it really wasn't that expensive. Not as much as, say, an install. So once you get everything, you don't have to get any more stuff besides more wire down the line, glue and stuff like that. All this stuff is gonna last me for however many installs I do and forward. So that's another reason why you want to do your installs, is because, like I said, saving money, and then also just the satisfaction that you built it yourself. Now, it may be a daunting thing, and you see some of the stuff and you're like, oh man, I don't know if I can do that. I can't do that. That looks too hard. And it's really not that hard. Having patience and good wire management and clean solder joints and stuff like that, that's all you need. And there's some videos out there. I think his name's Avery Castillo. I might be butchering that, but he has a great YouTube page where he has 2 hilts where he does a full install guide and walkthrough, and then the rest of the hilts that he does that aren't his commission videos, he has video segments on how he goes about and showing him soldering and stuff like that. And then Saber Bay has 2 videos on how they do soldering and how they build sabers. So I would definitely watch those videos religiously, and that's what gave me the confidence to do it, seeing them doing it, how they go about it, how do they solder, how big it should be, if it's a clean connection and stuff like that. And that's what kind of gave me the confidence to do it. So a big shout out to Saber Bay and the Avery Castillo, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, and the installers out there that do beautiful work. So like I said, anybody can do it as long as you put your mind to it. And that's kind of the same for anything. If you put your mind to it and you really go at it 100%, you can do it. And that's why I think if you're getting into this hobby, or you're already into this hobby, and say you're strapped on cash, or you want to get more hilts but you just don't have the money to get them each hilt installed, because there's times where people get hilts and they gotta wait a couple of months to get them installed, and they finally get it installed, and which is great. The installers do a great job, not bashing them at all, absolutely love it. I sent that solar guard over there, this one, to Jeremy at Solo Sabers months ago to get worked on. Did a fabulous job and did everything I want, which is great. But like I said, when you do installs, you can save hundreds of dollars. So like I said, if I would have got this installed, I would have been paying a boatload of money and wouldn't have had the money to buy this hilt. And I would have had to wait months to get this hilt, or however long it takes for people to save up money and to get it, and then wait to get it installed and all that jazz and stuff. So the point of this video is, I've done 3 hilts now, and after I did my first one, I gotta admit, it is absolutely addicting. That's all I think about whenever I'm on work on my breaks. I'm looking at saber videos, I'm looking at hilts, looking at random install guides, and seeing how stuff is wired up and how to go about it. I'm on the CFX Universal Lightsaber group, the Vault, the Builders, Sabers Builders, Facebook group. So a lot of those groups, you can ask questions, and most of the time you get replies real quick, and you get some, some really good suggestions and comments. And you, of course, you can ask, the installers, but some installers, don't tell you or give you any tips or even answer back, which I get. That's their bread and butter. They don't want to give away all their secrets and how they do stuff, because that's their livelihood and that's their job, which I completely understand. But for the most part, we gotta stand, band together and help each other out in this community and this hobby. It's a great hobby, great people, some shitty people too. But like I said, I started off with LGT hilts, getting profi cores and stuff like that, which are fine. LGT's getting a lot better in quality, same with TXQ. But, some of their hilts and their profi cores stuff is getting more and more expensive. I saw a hilt, I can't remember what it was. It might have been like a Balin Skull hilt for like $450 for a profi install. And of course, you get a blade and the hilt and the core, but let's be honest, they're not using the greatest of quality of components like speakers, wires, NeoPixel connectors. The board's the board because it's the profi and stuff like that. And then the blades are alright too, but $450, $500, you can buy that same hilt on the Saber Armory for around $250, get the install stuff for maybe $400 and do it yourself. Yeah, you can get it from LGT for $50-$60 more and get a blade with it, but the quality of the hilts are way better, the quality of the components and the chassis way better and stuff like that. And the satisfaction of doing it yourself is a feeling that can't be replaced. The moment, when you bust your ass all night soldering and doing your wire management, tucking everything in and all that stuff, and then when you plug the battery in and you hit that switch and it turns on and it's working, you put a blade in, that feeling is ecstatic. It's an adrenaline rush for me for sure. Every time I work through everything and I hit that power button and it works, it's the best feeling so far. So kind of rambling on, it's gonna be a long video, but this video is just made for people that are into the hobby and are hesitant to do their own installs because maybe it seems daunting or expensive or too much of a pain in the ass to do. A little bit of it's true, but once you do your first install, you learn from each install. Like this one, I learned a lot on how to do the NeoPixel connector on the negative pads, because at first I did one 22 gauge or two 24 gauges and then split them at the end to have 4 wires that go to the negative pads, where now I do 4 28 gauge, connect 2 of them together, connect them to the connector, and then I have the 4 wires out and then connect them to the CFX board, since you need there's 4 LED pads on the negative for CFX. And learn more and more each time I do more installs. I get faster at it. You obviously don't want to rush it, but you get better and better each time you do something. When you're doing something over and over, naturally you do get better at it. So that's kind of my point of this video, is you can do it if you just put your mind to it. You get the right equipment, and especially the right wires, like I said, you can do it. It's really fun, it's super rewarding, and mainly you're saving so much money. It's insane how much money I've saved from doing this install, that install, that install. I got another hilt on the way tomorrow. I'm already looking online for another hilt to do. I got a job that lets me do this hobby like this, and I'm super grateful for it. And like I said, if you're strapped on cash, but you really are you're into the saber hobby, and you can only afford to get one saber installed once a year, but you want more and more hilts, because everyone that buys a hilt, they say, oh, this is it, this is my only hilt, I'm not going to get any more. That's a big fat lie. You're going to want to keep getting more and more and more and more and more and more upstairs too, hilts, and build your collection, because it's a fun hobby and something I really like to do. So like I said, I would definitely recommend looking into installing your own hilts, getting on the Facebook groups that like the CFX or the Profi groups, the Saber building groups, the Saber building academy, Reddit, even the lightsaber group on Reddit. You know, there's a lot of great people and they can help you out a lot. And even the people that make the soundboards, like Irv Plecter, I've asked him questions and he responds right away. Love Irv. He's a great guy. Love him for making the Crystal Focus line of soundboards for these many years now. And yeah, so like I said, you know, it's going to cost you a little bit to get everything at first, but once you got it, that's it. The only thing you have to get more of is more wire and glue and stuff like that down the line. Definitely, you know, Saber Bay and KR Sabers. I thought Corbanth was selling empty hilts with, you know, chassis and the soundboard and everything. That's so you can do it yourself. I don't know if they're doing that anymore. I may be wrong. But yeah, there's plenty of places where you can buy hilts. And then even if there's, you know, places that sell just the hilts and not the chassis kits, you know, installers out there have the STL files. And I'm definitely going to get a 3D printer so I can get more hilts and download STL files for chassis, because Jeremy on his website has a bunch of STL files for different hilts. And I just want to broaden my collection, and eventually I would like to sell these hilts. Not this one, but you know, the ones that I'm doing, I would like to sell them just so I can make some extra money on the side, so I can keep buying hilts and keep installing them, because it's super fun. You know, I throw on a podcast, or I have my NBA basketball playoffs in the background, and you know, I got my companion wherever she's at, you know, to help, you know, give me company, and it's just super fun. It's really fun, guys. So I know it's a long video. Some of you probably won't watch it all or even watch it, but this is for the people out there that are really thinking about installing their own sabers. The biggest thing is do it. Get all the stuff. Do your research. You know, ask people. Ask me. You know, you can ask some of the installers out there what, you know, what stuff, not shit, but what stuff you should get and how to go about it. There's manuals online. There's guides, like KR Sabers. Most of their hilts have install guides, so you can just follow that if you don't know how to do it, or you know, how to approach it. Should I do the positive, or should I do the negative? Should I do the speaker first? How should I do it? And once you start building more and more sabers, you'll get that experience and knowledge. Like this one, there's no install guide or anything like that, so I had to do this, you know, go about it all by myself, and I got there. It was a big pain in the butt, but I eventually got there, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without doing these hilts first. So I know it's a long video, guys, but you should definitely think about installing your own sabers. You can save a lot of money. It's super fun. It's super rewarding, and mostly, you know, you can save a boatload of money. You know, nothing wrong with getting your saber installed. You know, if you don't want to do it, send it to your installer. Let them do all the work. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. They do amazing quality work. But if you can do it yourself and save 300, 200, 400, 500 bucks, you know, that's a lot of savings. You know, no matter how much money or how little money you make, everyone likes to save money. And if you can save a couple $100 doing it yourself, and then buying another hilt with that money that would have been spent to send to an installer, so you can get another hilt and then another hilt, why not do it? So like I said, if you know, it may seem daunting, and even if you mess up and you really mess up, you know, you can still send the empty hilt to get installed. You know, you'll have to take the L on the parts and the chassis that you bought to install it, but it's, you know, nothing is unfixable to a certain degree. But most of the part is fixable. Like I messed up this one, was able to fix it. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions or thoughts or concerns, just let me know. Put them in the comments. I'll try to, you know, I answer real fast. If you have any questions, just let me know. But yeah, guys, I definitely think if you're thinking about installing, or you want to do your own installs, just do it. I guarantee you it's rewarding, and the money you save is awesome. So yeah, guys, thanks for checking out my videos. I'll have another video in a couple days with my Darth Vader hilt that I'll be installing with Profi. So yeah, good night, guys. Have a good night.